Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be making a curry lamb with one potato salad and rice and peas. This one is gonna be.
Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm gonna be making a nice curry lamb stew with some rice and peas. It's gonna be amazing. My curry lamb. I know this is a bit unconventional and I should have done like the whole tutorial, but to be honest, it's literally self-explanatory, and I'm just gonna put all of my seasoning in the description, and I'm gonna pretty much label it out one by one, step by step, so you guys could get it, because I did marinate it overnight. I was literally pressed for time to record, because obviously when you're a content creator, you create previous content, and I was exhausted from my previous content, so I just did this. But I promise you guys, it's super duper easy. I have in here like about 3 different curry powder. I have coriander, ginger, allspice seasoning, curry masala, and I also have green seasoning, and I put, can I tell you guys my secret? I put Italian dressing to marinate my meat. And here's why. Because that acidity is literally gonna break the meat down, and it's gonna make it super duper tender. Like I said, I'm gonna put everything in the description, and I'm also making rice and peas, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, so this is to burn my curry, aka cook my curry off. I have 1 teaspoon of excuse my little slip of the hand, 1 teaspoon of curry powder. I use Jamaican choice, that's that spicy curry. And then I have another teaspoon of curry powder, and that's lalahs curry. And I have here garamasala, and I'm using 1 teaspoon of that. And this is what I'm gonna use to burn off my curry, aka cook it off, fry it out. Everybody say everything different, so but it's the same process. So that's what I'm gonna use. And I'm also gonna put 1 teaspoon of Chief's curry powder as well. And also guys, these are the curry powder that I use to season up my lamb. And I also use this Chief's. I pretty much love all of these. Sometimes people say 5 curry. I literally do just about 5, even 4. But in this case, I don't have the other one, the other 2 actually. So I just use these 3. Trust me. And also, they have a lot of salt in them, so you just gotta be also careful with that too. But yep, this is what I use, guys. Excuse that little mess. Come on. But you get the picture. So here in my pot I had heating up, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm gonna add in the curry powder that I showed you guys earlier, and then I'm just gonna mix it around like so. And my heat is on low. You want it on low to medium, just so you don't really burn the curry, but you just heat it up enough to cook it off. And that is what you want. And once it starts to bubble, if you feel like it's getting too high or too hot, you turn it down, which I feel it's getting a little too high. Like I said, you don't want it to burn. You just want it to fry out just enough. Because if it burns, then your meat is going to smell like burnt curry. So you just want it to cook off or fry off just a little bit. Some people choose to use water instead of oil. Oil is just my preference. You could also use 2 tablespoons of water to fry out the curry or cook it out. So now that it's cooked out, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna add my lamb. Okay, so there is my curry and it is bubbling. Enter that. You hear that? That is my sizzle. As you can see, I added my lamb to my curry. Oh man, it's already smelling so good in here. And I'm just gonna let this cook. You're gonna let this cook off for about, say, 5 to 10 minutes, just so my curry can incorporate all those juices. Again, guys, I apologize. I didn't season this on video, but I'm literally gonna put everything in the description. It is pretty self-explanatory. You wash your meat, you season it with all the seasoning like I'm gonna put in the description, and it's gonna look amazing and taste delicious. I'm gonna let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes covered and let it bring up its own juices and cook in all that juice, and I will be right back to start my rice and peas. Okay guys, after about 10 minutes of cooking my lamb in its own juices, oh man, it already looks so delicious. And I know from video sometimes the curry looks brown based on your camera, but trust me guys, this is a nice yellow curry. And also, if you want a brighter curry, you could also add turmeric to it. But man, this thing is gonna be so delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add just about 3 cups of boiling hot water. You could do 4. And also it depends on your pot and how soft the meat is and fresh. I got my lamb from Wholefood. I mean, you could do whatever market you feel free and that's accessible to you. And I know for my people in the Caribbean who has access on my YouTube, they get the real lamb, like that all natural organic stuff that they just take from the yard and they just butcher it. But as for me, I can't have that kind of access. So Wholefood it was, and I promise you guys, it's gonna be delicious. So here I'm gonna go ahead and add my boiling hot water. And also the reason I say use boiling hot water, because if you use cold water, it literally stops the cooking process. So you don't want that. You want it to be continuously cooking. And I'm just gonna stir this around like so. And trust me guys, I know it doesn't look like much, but once it's cooked, it's going to be divine. I'm gonna go ahead and put my stove up on high and I'm gonna let it cook and I'm gonna cover it. And you obviously have to pay attention to it. I'll let this cook for about 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how much water is left in my pot. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna like poke it to see how tender or soft the meat is. And then I'll let you know from there. So after about 45 minutes, most of my water is evaporated. And here I have unsweetened coconut milk. It's actually cream. And by the way guys, this brand from Good & Glitter in Target, it is absolutely the best coconut milk I've ever had. Like I said, I am not getting paid to advertise this, but trust me, they need to pay me to advertise this, because this stuff is bomb. I mean, it is so good. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna add that entire cream of coconut milk to this. And after adding about that 4 cups of water, and I'm talking about 4 large measuring cups of water to this, it cooked down to that consistency right there. And I'm just gonna let that coconut milk do its thing for about the next 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. I'll watch it occasionally because it may be less, but I'm gonna let that marinate in that coconut milk. And good God almighty, this thing is gonna be so delicious. I cannot wait. Okay guys, after about 20 minutes of me putting in my coconut milk, my lamb is finished. Ooh, look at that nice thick creamy gravy. I love it. Guys, you know what I say, the food here don't just look good, but it tastes good too. We don't want no rundown gravy over here, all right? Forgive my steam that is fogging up my camera lens, but that's just a testament of how good this lamb is going to be. I cannot wait to try. I have my basmati rice. I did 2 cups. I'm just gonna throw it in my colander like so, and I'm gonna wash this rice. Guys, we wash our rice over here. I still haven't received my tripod yet, so clearly I'm doing this by hand. So you might have to forgive me because, hey, what can I do? You still gotta get the job done. I am determined to cook this meal without an extra tripod or not. So I'm just gonna wash this rice a couple times. Most people say don't wash your rice, especially if it's like basmati or jasmine, but I don't know about them. But we wash it. I'm washing this like about 3 times. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the process started to cook my gongo peas and rice. And also guys, just a tip, I am using the peas from the can. Don't shoot me. Like, it's about time saving. And when you gotta do a Sunday meal, you need all the time you could get. But anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead, put this back in my bowl, and then I'm gonna get my peas started for my rice and peas. My canned beans, this is the one I use. You could use fresh beans if you choose to. Fresh gongo peas. I mean, it takes longer and you have to soak it overnight, especially if you use the dry one. Trust me guys, they all do the same thing. I'm gonna strain out that water, and I'm using 2 cans. And I'm also gonna wash my peas off to get like that excess sodium and liquid off of it, so it could be a bit more authentic. So I'm gonna just wash this off about 3 times, just like so. And then I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and I'm gonna cook this with my basmati rice, because I think that rice actually cooks faster, and because I'm using a piece from the can, it does the job better. And if I wasn't going that route, I would actually use long grain rice, but since I'm not doing that, that's the rice of choice that I'm gonna use. So I will be right back to get my rice and peas started. So I went ahead and added 2.5 cups of chicken broth. I didn't have any chicken stock, but broth pretty much does the same thing. And I didn't have any fresh thyme, which sucks, but it's still gonna be delicious. I'm gonna let this really come to a boil. And I'm also gonna go ahead and add my peas to it, and I will be right back to add my rice. I have just about 1/2 cup of coconut cream and 1 chicken cube, and I'm gonna add to this about 2.5 cups of chicken stock. And I'm just gonna let this simmer for a few minutes and I will be right back. So I went ahead and I added just a tablespoon of garlic pepper paste to my peas. My garlic pepper paste is pretty much a whole big jar of peeled garlic and habanero peppers, and I blend it to a pasty consistency and I save it in the refrigerator. That's it. You could add olive oil to it if you so choose. However, I did not. I'm gonna let this come to a boil one more time, and then I'm gonna add my rice. I'm gonna add my rice to this because it's boiling, and I'm just gonna stir it. Ooh, man, look at this. It smells so good in my kitchen. Woo. Ah, man, it is divine. I'm just gonna let this boil for 1 minute, and then I'm gonna lower my stove and I'm gonna let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. You put your stove on really low heat and you let it steam and do its thing, and then you're gonna have the fluffiest rice and peas ever. After 30 minutes, ooh baby, look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any better, any fluffier than this right here. OMG. And you see all the nice little flake from that garlic pepper paste and the yellowish color from that chicken cube. Oh my god, this is gonna be so delish. Guys, I put this for about 35 minutes and I let it just do its thing. I put it on low and slow and I steam it and I just let it do its thing. Man, oh man, it is not your traditional rice and peas, but trust me, it tastes just as delicious as it looks. I mean, you don't always gotta be traditional when it comes down to things. You could twist it up a bit, change it up, but as long as the taste is there, that is all you need. I mean, look at that. Ooh, all I needed was some fresh thyme in this bad boy, but it's delicious anyway. So here I went ahead and I did about 12 russet potatoes. I'm gonna make a warm potato salad. I actually have this recipe on my YouTube already with, I think, my salmon bites. I'm also going to link it in the description, but I'm going to do it again just so you guys can get it, just in case you missed it. So I'll do it again, and I put about 4 teaspoons of Himalayan sea salt inside of this. And I'm gonna just let it boil. Also, always boil your potatoes with cold water, because if you do it with hot water, some of them will tend to cook too fast. And if you do it with cold water, they all cook at the same temperature at the same time. So my potato is finished after 25 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and discard my water. And then I'm gonna just leave the potatoes to cool down a bit before I start tossing it in everything that is good and great. Okay, so for my potato salad, I have diced red peppers, diced red onions, diced yellow bell pepper, some celery, and the leaves from the celery. I have about 7 tablespoons of mayo. I use almonds. And I have 2 tablespoons of ground Dijon mustard. And over there in that little bowl, it's about 2.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. That is literally the thing that would make everyone go, girl, what is in this salad? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it started. Oh, and in my bowl, I have just about 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I will be right back. I'm gonna toss everything in and I'm gonna show it to you. So I'm gonna add my apple cider vinegar and my Dijon mustard, my mayo, and I am gonna mix this all together like so. Oh man, guys, oh, you know what, guys? I completely forgot one more thing to go inside of this dressing. It's my relish. So I'm gonna get my relish. And guys, if you want it to be a little creamier, feel free to add more mayo. And I know it looks like very watered down, but when you add the potatoes in here, the potatoes is gonna absorb all of that liquid, and it's gonna be so good. And also, guys, just a tip, eggs don't always have to go in potato salad for it to be delish, okay? I will be right back, and I will add my relish to this and my potatoes. Okay, guys, so I put my potatoes in, and I'm just gonna toss it like so. OMG, guys, look at this plate. Absolutely delicious. My tender lamb, my rice and peas, and my warm potato salad. Guys, let me tell you, it don't get better than this, you know. It don't get any better than this. You know what I say? The food here don't just look good, but it tastes good too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more delicious meals. Don't believe me? Try the recipes for yourself.